Hey everybody, how's it going? My name is James Oliver Jr. I'm a parent entrepreneur advocate via my blog, Trep Life Dad. I'm also the founder and CEO of a funded startup called We Montage, which is the world's only website that lets you turn your pictures into a large custom collage on removable wallpaper, like the one you see behind me. So today I'm super excited to have as a guest Angelica Sweeting. She is the founder, a co-founder. You and your husband, right?
Oh yeah, co-founder.
Co-founder and of Naturally Perfect Dolls, and she just recently just absolutely obliterated her Kickstarter campaign and raised $85,000. Angelica, what is up?
What's up? I'm happy to be here. It's like we're reconnecting. It's like a reunion. It's awesome. I'm excited to share, I guess, some tips and just different parts of my story and hopefully encourage and give people some good information.
Yeah, awesome. So I actually have some questions I wrote down on my screen here, my
Okay.
notepad. If I change to the questions, can you still see me on the screen there?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So actually, it's weird. Like Angelica and I met last May in Columbus, Ohio. Both of us were auditioning for Shark Tank, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
It was May 2014. I think we both made it to the second round of auditions last year. No?
Just
Oh.
you. You're
Oh.
really good at making it to the second round.
Yeah. I'm the master at making it to the second round of auditions for Shark Tank like I did this year and last year. And I know you applied this year and you're still hoping to hear back from those guys as well, right?
Right. Correct.
Okay, so why don't you tell us about what is Naturally Perfect Dolls and why does it matter and what inspired you to start it?
Right. So our company, Naturally Perfect Dolls, was inspired by my daughter, Sophia. She was 3 at the time, and we were riding home from school one day, and she said, "Mom, I hate my kinky curly hair. I hate my skin tone. I hate my facial features." And of course, me and my husband were devastated, trying to get to the bottom of, what is really going on. And she just started to tell us that she didn't look like any of the dolls or the characters that she constantly sees on TV. And on the toy aisle. So, it was kind of a spark to me to really start looking up and down each toy aisle for more diversity. And it just was not there. So that was really the inspiration for Naturally Perfect Dolls. We are committed to diversity and really seeing the unique beauty of every little girl represented up and down each toy aisle.
Wow. So you have the Angelica doll. And so what's really unique about what you guys are doing is that it's the world's first doll with natural hair, like human hair.
Well, yeah, natural hair that you can style and wash, just as my hair, regular hair, which is cool because not only are we getting visual representation, but my daughter is able to use it as a tool to learn how to love and take care of her own hair. Like we'll watch a YouTube video and say, hey, this is, the YouTuber doing a twist out, and then we'll do it on the doll's hair so that she's learning how to take care of her natural.
Wow. And how old so you have 2 daughters. So they're both pretty excited about the doll?
They are very excited. It's weird because at first they were a little in shock just because it's so weird seeing a doll that looks exactly like you, since she was modeled after my face and my daughter's face. So she was like, whoa, what's going on here? So
wow, this is creepy.
But after that, she really, everything just really turned around for her. And it was just a piece of the puzzle. Of course, we were doing daily affirmations at home just to make sure everything was cohesive and she knew that she was beautiful in all ways.
All right, right on. Well, hey, Shanice, I see Shanice Griffith just popped in, and Wax and Lather was giving you mad props there. See the props flying up on the screen. Hello. So I was just asking Angelica, like, why she started the business, and she was just explaining to me how her daughters feel about it, and she's using the doll to teach her daughters how to naturally, take care of their hair because the doll has natural hair as well, which is pretty amazing. So, you raised $85,000 on Kickstarter, and listen, I know how hard that is because back when I was first launching Remontage, I did this half-assed Indiegogo campaign that just sort of failed miserably. I raised a couple $1,000s, but man, it's hard. You see everybody talking about oh, you got to get on Kickstarter, you can raise money, but it's not easy. You raised $85,000. Like, how the heck did you do that?
Well, lots initially, once we got the idea for the Angelica Doll, I was like, man, I got to go on Kickstarter to raise this money. And I really started researching on what, it would take to get it done. And after I saw that, I was like, man, this is going to take so much out of me. I used this article kind of as my Bible. It was like how to hack Kickstarter. It was about Soma water, like how to raise $100,000 in 10 days. And I did literally everything that they said to do in there.
Soma water? How do you spell that?
SOMA water, Soma water. And the article is titled How to Raise $100,000 in 10 Days on Kickstarter, Soma water. Yep.
Wow.
So we can put the link up there. It's an awesome article. It takes a lot of prep work, so much so that I was like, okay, I have to quit my job in order to do this, honestly, because being a mother too, being a wife and working full time, I just knew I would not be able to pull it off.
Right. Wow. So what was that conversation like with your husband?
Well, the good thing is that my husband is also an entrepreneur and self-employed. He's been a musician his whole life. So he was more understanding than probably any other spouse would be. So we kind of just put a plan together. We made a list of what is the worst possible thing that could happen if I quit my job. And we prepared to experience those things in case they did happen. They all did happen. Yeah. So all those things that we put on our list, they happened, but we were more prepared for it. Yeah, it's good.
Wow, that's amazing. So what's that like? So you're an entrepreneur. You guys have shared responsibilities of taking care of your two daughters. How old are your daughters?
4 and 2.
4 and 2, which, I have twin 2.5-year-olds. So like, I know about the whole 2-year-old thing. It's like nuts.
Yeah.
So there's the stress and pressure of all that. And then you add on top of that, the new business and being partners in that business. Like, how did you guys draw the lines to try to maintain some sanity in the house?
It's not for the faint of heart. Let me tell you this.
It still is. You guys are still in the middle of it.
Exactly. It was really, really rough at the beginning. And we learned to separate marriage and business. You have to completely separate them, talk to each other in a completely different way than you would if you were married. And we started setting meetings and doing agendas. So we have a meeting for Naturally Perfect Dolls every 2 days. So that's the time where we really focus in on it, and we can still, be married and, separate the two. But it was a major, major adjustment. It was a huge adjustment, but I guess in the end, he's my partner in life, and all the things that I'm really not good at, he really is good at. So there's no better person that I could work with right now.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So what are your top 3, tips for, you see, Wax and Leather I assume is really interested in Kickstarter.
Yeah.
What are your top 3 tips for somebody to be able to effectively launch their campaign?
Yes. So I have 5. Can I give you 5?
Yeah. You're the boss. You do whatever you want. Come on.
I love Kickstarter and what it can do. So my first tip would be to really take the time to prep.
Wait, let me get my pen. Well, you don't already have a pen?
So I'll talk a little slower. But the first one is taking the time to really prep for your Kickstarter. It doesn't happen overnight. You can't just throw up a Kickstarter and think it'll be successful. The second one is to start building your following via social media and getting your email list following at least 2 to 3 months before the launch. Because
how do you do that? How do you get an email list following 2 to 3 months before the Kickstarter launch?
I started with setting up social media pages, and I would reach out to different groups on social Facebook, for example, like the Natural Hair Group. And I'll be like, hey, this is what I'm doing. If anyone's interested, follow me on social media. And I slowly but surely started getting followers, and they would spread the word. So really going in all the natural hair groups, all the mommy groups, to just start getting a following. And of course, just putting pictures on my Facebook of the doll's progress, people started getting interested in the journey and where it would be. So really your friends and your family sharing, not only will they be potential backers, but they will, spread the word for you when your Kickstarter launches. So really getting that following is essential.
So number one is to have your following on social media and email marketing list in place. So how did you get an email list? You put up a splash page, right? A landing page?
Yes. You helped me with that. We did a link.
I tried. I don't know if I did it.
Yeah, we put up a landing page. So once people kind of started following my journey, they'd be like, oh, we're interested in this. Where can we go? So I would, link them back to the website, and they would put their email in. And another thing we did via social media is we kind of offered like an exclusive discount to our first backers. And I told people about this probably a month before our Kickstarter launch. So people got really excited. They could get the doll for cheaper. Everybody loves cheaper. So that's another way we got, backers and started our email list.
All right. So that's brilliant. Wax and loud. You hearing an echo? I'm hearing an echo.
A little bit.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. I see a question. Why did I choose Kickstarter? Just after a lot of research with the different crowdfunding platforms, I thought Kickstarter would be the best fit because people have raised money for dolls on there before. So I could have something to look at. It was something similar. And I just thought Kickstarter is the first platform and really the best for me for what I wanted to do.
Right, because you could have
right.
You don't have to raise
Right.
Yeah, I'm hearing a little bit of echo here. It's kind of driving me crazy. You said that you also use video.
Yeah, so of course, we use a video. That's a major part of your Kickstarter campaign. For us, it was to really explain our why and get people into our story, which is huge. People fell in love with our video. That can be a really expensive part. Luckily, I had a friend that was in video production, so we got it done for free. But your video is probably what you need to put the most effort in as well. My third tip is to know your numbers. Setting your goal for Kickstarter is probably one of the toughest tasks just because there's so many different things to factor in. I learned so much after we finished our Kickstarter. I honestly would have been screwed if we only raised $25,000 because there were some things that I didn't even consider. So one, all of the money goes into your Kickstarter pot. So even shipping costs. Also, of course, Kickstarter fees are taken out of what you raise. And one thing I didn't think about was people who would be declined, like their credit cards were declined. So although we raised $85,000, almost $10,000 in funds did not make it because credit cards got declined. And then after Kickstarter, yes.
Wow.
Yes. So that's definitely something to consider. Not everyone's credit card will go through, and that will impact the money that you raise. My fourth goal is to have as much done for production as humanly possible before the Kickstarter launches, so that once you get all of your money from Kickstarter or what other crowdfunding campaign, you can kind of just hit the ground running. You already have your manufacturer in place. Like everything's already in place for fulfillment. It'll just make everything a lot easier. And 5 is be as lean as possible. This is kind of my motto in general for business when you're first starting, but it's especially important for Kickstarter or crowdfunding. I've heard people have spent like $50,000 to get their Kickstarter campaign up, which is insane with video production, and it can really all add up. So be as lean as possible. Like a friend of mine did our video. My sister edited our page at least 50 times. My husband did the logo design, which we laugh at looking back now because it's just how terrible it is. But now we were able to make an investment with branding and design after our Kickstarter. So those are my 5 points. Prep your Kickstarter. Take the time to prep. 1, build your following. 3, really know your numbers. 4, make sure you have everything in line for production. And 5, be as lean as possible.
This is a good question from your 15-minute radio. But before I get to that, I just want to say,
you, James.
Oh,
your audio's out.
Is it back? Hello?
I guess I'll answer. You can hear James? Is it just me?
Wax and Lather, you can hear me?
Oh, there you are. That's odd.
Okay, sorry, guys.
There we go.
So we got a couple new people that have joined. So I just want to circle back before we answer your 15-minute radios thing here. So I see Steve Akins is here. I see Mario jumped in, Drew Weaver, Emily Evans, and Geneva. Is that how you pronounce it? Geneva. She's awesome. I met her on social media. She has Belly Itch blog, I think is what her blog is. Really great. But so it's everyone that's new here. My name is James Oliver. I'm a parent entrepreneur advocate and a blogger at Trep Life Dad, repping my Real Dads Make Twins t-shirt. Dad of 2-year-old twins. I'm also the founder of WeMontage.com, which is the world's only website that lets you turn your pictures into a large collage on removable wallpaper, which is what you see behind me. And then I'm speaking with Angelica Started, whom I met at Shark Tank auditions last year. We stayed in touch, and she since changed her business idea and has launched this amazing doll, which is the first doll that has real or natural hair. So we're just talking about how she was able to effectively crush her Kickstarter campaign. She raised $85,000, and she's a mompreneur. She has 2 and a 4-year-old daughter, and her husband are running this business. So she was just giving her top 5 tips to effectively crush her Kickstarter campaign. I put the link in here for her Kickstarter. I'll see if I can paste that back in again for those who didn't see it. So go and watch her video. She was just talking about the importance of getting your audience in place before, like months before you launch your campaign. Get your social media numbers up, get your email list, put up a splash page, know your numbers, do a killer video. In her case, her friend who actually does video production, right? Like hooked her up for free with a video. And as you know, these videos for these Kickstarter campaigns makes all the difference in the world. And one other thing you said that I loved was about the videos, you talked about your why, right? You gotta start with why, because if the why is not sufficiently compelling, no one is going to care. Right? That's a lesson I had to learn the hard way with WeMontage. So those are 3. Were there 2 other things you said that you should do there?
Yeah, you said know your numbers, be as lean as possible when you're prepping your Kickstarter, and that just means spend as least amount of money as you can. You don't want to spend $10,000, $20,000 just getting your crowdfunding campaign up. So be creative and be lean. And the other one was, just have as much done for production or fulfillment beforehand have as much done as humanly possible. Just make your life a lot easier.
What do you mean as much done pre-production? What does that mean?
Like, for example, with the doll, we already had our manufacturer in place so that once we received the money, we could kind of just press the green light. We just had to finalize the last details. It's not like we had a prototype up and then we had to go find a manufacturer. And that's a really, really long process. And also packaging and T-shirts, like whatever fulfillment or T-shirt place you're going to use, have that in place. Just really knowing everything you're going to do for fulfillment, because it can get really intense, especially when you exceed your goals.
Right. Okay, so I'm dropping in here. This is for you, Wax and Lather. I did an interview with a buddy of mine who at the time had effectively executed 2 Kickstarter campaigns, but by the time we're done, he'd killed like 3 of them. And in that blog post, I just put a link to his, I think it was like top 70 tips or something crazy like that for Kickstarter. Yeah. And he really echoed, kind of piggybacked on what Angelica said about one of the most important things is you got to have your PR in place. Like, the other thing Mario is talking about, make sure you have people lined up to donate in advance, because when your Kickstarter campaign starts, you want to make sure you have people contributing, because people want to contribute to something they think is going to be successful, right? Exactly. It says people want to fund when they see. So everybody, that's Mario Armstrong that's chiming in. Mario is a media entrepreneur. He's a Today Show contributor, digital lifestyle expert. What else? Founder of the Never Settle Club, which is really great. It's a place online, the neversettleclub.com. It's a great Facebook group. Angelica and I are both in the group. It's just an online place of positivity, people who are looking to turn their passions into their life's work. Very supportive group. I definitely recommend checking it out, neversettleclub.com. Go to Facebook, ask them to join the Facebook group. It's really, really great and very supportive.
Right.
So I just put that link in there for you, Wax and Lather. Hopefully you saw that. Thanks, Jennifer. I appreciate it. So did we get to your 15 minutes had a question, I think, right? Did we get to that? Oh, what can you do after you launch the campaign? How do you restart the marketing of the campaign if you didn't prepare prior to launching? Wow.
That's a really good question. I think for me, I guess I kind of have a different case just because we had so much momentum with our Kickstarter and after our Kickstarter with media and people wanting to get to know the doll and about the doll. James, do you think you have any input on that? I really don't have a good answer.
No, man. I think it's too late.
Yeah.
I think the question is more because like this is something you're probably thinking about right now because so PR is obviously huge. You guys, can you just name some of the PR that you got and like the timing of when these things started hitting with respect to the campaign?
Right. So the second day we had Cosmo of Pop Sugar. I think the third day we got our BuzzFeed article, AOL online.
Crazy.
Then, yes, it was kind of just like a snowball effect. And, off of what Mario said, because we had so many people giving the first day, other people wanted to give. And then, media just started catching on to it. So once one does it, the rest of them writes about it, honestly.
Yeah, Mario just asked a question. I was thinking the same thing. You got a doll you could show us? Where's that doll?
Before we started, it's crazy. So we had one and only Angelica Doll, and I had to send her off for a very, very special meeting. I'm having separation anxiety, not having her here. It's crazy. I'll have to, go to a link on Kickstarter. I wish I had her with me. I'm praying for her because I hope she kills the meeting that she's in because it's so important, but I don't have one, unfortunately.
You're praying for the doll to kill the meeting and for a safe return for the doll.
Yes, exactly.
That's hilarious. Sorry, Mario. No doll, man. What are you gonna do? So I did have a.
I know. Yeah. Go ahead.
So you had a full-time job.
Yes.
How the hell did you transition from a full-time job to an entrepreneur?
So it did not happen overnight. Definitely not. And I've always had a passion for entrepreneurship. It was really just getting, what I was going to do in the business down before I quit my job. I had the idea for the Angelica Doll August 2014, and I quit my job January 2015. So it was a good 6 or 7 months in between that time. And like we said earlier, it was just a lot of talking with my husband, weighing the pros and the cons and preparing for those moments of sacrifice and rough times. The transition was not easy at all. Everything we put on our list for the worst things that could possibly happen, They all happened in the first week. So it was really, really intense. But now, I've always dreamed of being a full-time entrepreneur. It's a roller coaster, but there's nothing else I would rather be doing.
Yeah, amen to that. It's not for the faint of heart, that's for sure. Right? So what's your vision for the business, say 3 to 5 years from now? I know you have the Angelica Doll. Like, what's on deck? Are you coming out with some other dolls, you think?
Right. So right now, since we got, the crowdfunding gave us so much good feedback from so many different people, which was really essential. So we know where to go next, and we're expanding really quickly. So we're going to add an Asian doll, a Latina doll, a doll of darker ebony hue, a biracial doll to our line. So hopefully by January, we will have a complete line of dolls. And from there, we can start pitching to go into different big box retailers or specialty retailers.
And so all the dolls will have the trademark natural hair, right?
Right. So what's really cool is that all of our dolls will have features that are really true to that ethnicity, which I think is really important. And that's something, a lot of our backers wanted to see as we expand. Another thing is we really, really, really want to get manufacturing over to the United States. It would be.
How's that going? You're just in China, right? What happened with that?
Right. Right now we're manufacturing in China, and it's like a major, major headache. Of course, they, produce really cheap, but I would love to get production here in the United States. It would save me 4 a.m. Meetings, for one. And then also, we really just want to, I guess, claim our mark and really start building a brand to compete with, national brands such as American Girl Doll and the toy industry that's kind of just, taking over. So we are definitely filling a void, and I want to take advantage of being first to market. So.
Right. So how do you find a manufacturer here in the U.S. competitively, competitive from a cost standpoint? How do you find that?
Right. So right now, I guess cost-wise, it would kind of be the same for us just because we're working with a smaller manufacturer over in China. So our costs are a little more expensive. Like right. American Girl, they can probably produce a doll for honestly like $3, and they're selling it for $120. Wow. So we're willing to, produce our dolls for a higher cost in order to do that in the United States, and we still have, a good margin.
Okay. So if I can circle back to your 15-minute radio. So you got the PR up front, but like you still need to have a marketing plan, right? I imagine you're probably still fleshing some of that out. Do you have some initial thoughts about how to continue marketing the doll now that the campaign is over?
Right. So right now we're just continuing to reach out to mommy bloggers. We've luckily had a lot of people come to us and want to write articles, but for us, we are going to be targeting our audience via Facebook ads, and really our backers and everyone who supported our Kickstarter. We send them updates, and they are really just sharing our doll like crazy. So we've still had consistent. I know they have become ridiculous.
I envy you. Like I'm trying so hard to remontage to, get the word out and get traction like that. But what you're doing is taking off so organically because it's something that's so viscerally connected to right. people. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, that's just a beautiful thing. That just says like your why is tremendous. And the problem that you're solving in the marketplace is tremendous, which is key, right, to have a successful Kickstarter campaign.
Right.
It's got to resonate with people, needs to be solving a problem, and it's just got to be kind of dope, right?
Right, I agree. And we, it's really just about where you're going to make investments at. For us, like making a $10,000 investment in PR just wasn't a smart move for us, since we still have so much organic traffic and people still contact us and so many things coming up. So we decided to invest that in creating new dolls.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I only have 2 more questions. I know I only want to do this for like 30 minutes. I know you got Kickstarter boxes or something you're packaging or something you were telling me about earlier.
Yeah.
So what's you're a parent entrepreneur. I'm a parent entrepreneur advocate via my blog, treplifedad.com. What's your best advice for parent entrepreneurs?
Right. My best advice would be to do whatever you have to keep your sanity and your family together, honestly, because you need balance throughout everything. For me, I take a run every morning so I can clear my head, figure out what is going to be on the list of things to do today, and to really focus, because if not, my day will go crazy. I'll take that out on my family and my kids, and you don't want that to happen. So whatever you have to do, make sure that you're taking breaks, you're keeping balance, and you're keeping your sanity while you're starting a business.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. For me, meditation is key.
Yeah.
For me, in trying to get out the house on the weekends to go play golf, just to get away from the screaming babies and the parenting drama, right? So I think that's really, really great advice. And so my last question is, what's the most valuable lesson that you've learned so far on your entrepreneurial journey?
I think my biggest lesson is, embrace the struggle. You can't, seriously, you cannot get around it. People try to get around it.
Oh, I know.
You cannot.
It's a grind. You got to love the grind, baby.
Right. There are going to be times where you have to sacrifice. It'll get really hard and nothing will go your way. Like, quick story about us. After I quit my job, I told you like everything went wrong that could possibly go wrong. And, even when I was reaching out to bloggers, I reached out to over 70 natural hair bloggers, mommy bloggers, saying, hey, will you feature our doll the day our Kickstarter launch? I got a response from nobody. Like, seriously, not one.
Crickets. That's what Mario and I were just talking about the other day. How you manage the crickets? right?
Yeah, I can't hear you. Your audio went out again on my
Oh,
end.
sorry.
I don't know why it keeps doing that.
I don't know. Your stuff's janky. That's what's up. That's all.
I'm attempting to lip read.
Yeah, keep talking.
Yeah, so just for me, really getting through that really, really rough time, not knowing what's going to happen, it's just really essential for me. So just embrace the struggle. There's no way to get around it. Lean into the dip and know that you're going to get through it.
Oh my God. Yeah. So I'm actually about to post. Mario and I did a blab last week about how to manage the crickets, and here's the link to that article right there for new entrepreneurs. Like, how do you manage the crickets? We had 3 tips for that. The one thing I'd like to add, in my opinion, and I think you will probably agree with this. Other than having a really great product or service, the most important thing for an entrepreneur to have is a supportive spouse.
Yeah.
Right. If she or he is married.
Yeah.
Because without that,
it's impossible.
Right. I mean, I don't want to say impossible, but things could end like really badly. Right. And it's like, it goes back to the book, The Alchemist, where they talk about having a man or woman of the desert. In the book, he had a woman of the desert, which is basically somebody who was down for him no matter what, as he realized his dreams and fulfilled his personal legend or his destiny. So I think that's important. And so Geneva says, it's sad that mommy bloggers and natural hair bloggers, they can be tough.
Yeah.
All in the game, right?
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah. All right. So, I mean, that's it. Does anybody else have any questions before we wrap it up? Or is there any last points you want to make, Angelica?
I think, I think I would like you to explain a little bit more about your why and why it's so important for any entrepreneur, because I think that's really how you get people into your business and, eventually get sales.
Yeah.
And I love when you talk about that, because I think it's just so important for people to know their why.
When I talk about that, you actually listen to stuff I say?
Of course.
Wow. That's scary and amazing all at the same time. So here's the blog post that I wrote about do customers know your why? So there's a book written by this guy, starting with why, and he just talked about, at the end of the day, people don't buy your product or service because they think it's great. Apple is Apple because, they had this cult following because of Apple's why, right? And I can't remember exactly what it was. It's actually in that article. But you need to be very clear about why it is you exist. Like for me, for so long, I was focusing on the fact that WeMontage, it was removable wallpaper. The website was this and the other thing, whatever. But like nobody cares about those. Those are just things, right? So then I hit the pause button and I went back to my customers and I asked them, I said, like, why do you guys display pictures, right? Like starting at the very basics. Why do you display pictures? And it became clear to me that people, exactly, Simon Sinek started with why. Thanks, Wax and Lather. My customers are telling me they display pictures because it makes them feel one of 3 things. Makes them feel loved or, lovingly or in some way when they see their loved ones. Makes them, it inspires them, or it makes them happy. Right. So, and then the feedback they got about why they love WeMontage, as you can see behind me, and this is a whole wall full of my pictures. The fact that I could customize my pictures on my wall as many as I want in this larger than life size, I end up feeling more love, more happiness, more inspiration when I display my pictures, and that's why my customers love WeMontage. So I completely changed my messaging, and I think it's starting to resonate with users because I'm getting more and more inbound marketing traffic. So I don't think that's an accident.
Right. I think that's awesome.
All right. Well, cool. Well, I'm not going to take up any more of everybody's time. I'm really excited that you carved out time, Angelica. When's the doll launching? I bought one. I can't wait to give it to my 2.5-year-old daughter. I know she's going to love it. Like, when are these things going to be out in the market?
So right now, we're, of course, fulfilling all of our Kickstarter rewards. We are on time with manufacturing, which is awesome. Everyone gets their doll, I know, before Christmas. And we're going to fully launch in January-ish, February. We'll be ready with our full line of dolls. So.
Okay. So how can people find you on social media?
So Facebook is Naturally Perfect Dolls. Instagram, our IG is at Naturally Perfect Dolls. Twitter is at MP Dolls. And you can always shoot me an email, Angelica at naturallyperfectdolls.com. I love hearing different stories. And if you need any advice or help, I'm here. So
awesome. All right. Well, you can find me on Facebook. I'm sorry, on here, James Oliver Jr. That's my handle on Twitter. The blog is treplifedad.com, and the company is wemontage.com. That's all we got. Hey, I really appreciate everybody's questions. This has been great. If you have more questions, hit Angelica up. She's really doing some phenomenal things. And thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful evening.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.